What's up everyone, this is Ricardo Lund, head engineer of Rakoon Sound Studios, and I want to welcome you guys to another episode of our Tips and Tricks show, where we share information about our equipment and show you how we use it to make music. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Moog Sub 37, an all-analog synth from Moog, a pretty useful tool here in the studio. And we're going to take you through the basic sounds and the functionality, how to use the interface, and to see if it's the right synth for your studio. So without further ado, let's get right into the review. Okay guys, so we have the Sub 37 right here in front of us. This is an all-analog synth from Moog, and it's quite an amazing synthesizer, I have to say. Pretty simple to use as well. It can go pretty deep, but it can also be very simple. So first of all, I'm gonna explain a little bit of the build quality. Obviously, as everything from Moog is great, and in the side of the inputs and outputs, it has some MIDI in and MIDI out ports. It has the regular audio quarter-inch output. It also has some inputs for CV on the filter and on the pitch. It has pitch, volume, filter, and keyboard gates. And it also has a USB connector. I think you can use this synth with a plugin in the computer, so you can do all the patch editing in the computer through the USB. Pretty cool. You can also obviously send MIDI through USB. And then the front panel, a lot of knobs, but everything is very clarified, each section what it does. And here, first of all, you have all the menu, all the browsing, all the settings that you want to do in your synth. You can also go through the presets in this section. All the MIDI settings and everything is right there. And here you have the arpeggiator or sequencer section. You set up all the stuff for your arpeggiator or sequencer. Here you have a glide control. Here you have the modulation section where you have all the LFOs. And here you have your oscillator section. So this has two oscillators, and I'm gonna explain all the controls in here. Then you have your mixer section, filter section, and envelopes, as well as the main output control here, and an individual control, level control for the headphones, which is pretty cool. So anyway, first of all, I'm going to take you through a bit of the sounds of the presets that this synthesizer has. So just so you can get an idea. Some noises. I guess like a kick drum. Nice. And more kind of percussion sounds. So yeah, we are in bank 3, and we can browse through the different presets through here. We can also go to bank 2, and we have 16 presets for bank 2 as well. So that gives you a slight idea of what the synth can sound like. Now I can also take it off to initial to the panel, to what the panel does. If I press this initial or panel button right here, and right now what's sounding is whatever I have in the whatever I have set up in the panel. So I'm gonna go section by section here, demonstrating what this has. First of all, I'm gonna go into the oscillator section slash mixer, because I'm gonna touch a little bit of the mixer right here. So we have 2 oscillators. First oscillator right here, you have a variable waveform control. So right now I'm in triangle, but you can go anywhere in between triangle to sawtooth, to pulse, to square, I'm sorry, and to pulse. So yeah, there's no fixed position for that. You can go anywhere in between to add more harmonics. Then you have a second oscillator. In here you have the waveform, actually, the waveform that you're using, and here you have in what range you are playing. So 2 feet, 4 feet, 8 feet, or really deep, 16 feet. Right? Then we go to the next oscillator, oscillator 2, which has a few more controls. I'm going to bring in the mixer oscillator down, oscillator 1 down in volume, and I'm going to bring oscillator 2. Again, the same controls as the first oscillator, but you have these other controls in which you have a frequency control right here. You can go a fifth up or plus 7 semitones up or down. A fifth down or 7 semitones down. And then you have this beat frequency, which is kind of like a fine tune. And you'll be able to hear it if I bring oscillator up, 1 up, I put them both in the same range. And you can hear what that beat does. So it's kind of like a detuning. Now you can also, this is a paraphonic synthesizer, and what paraphonic means is that you can do polyphony with the synth by using each oscillator on each voice. So one oscillator plays a voice and the second oscillator plays another one. So if I press this duo mode, what I'll get is I can play 2 notes at a time. So if I go a little lower here, so you can see I can play 2 notes at a time. Pretty cool for doing some stuff. Then after that you have the mixer section, which I've been touching right here. And you can see we have oscillator 1, we have oscillator 2, but you have also a sub oscillator. So if I bring oscillator 2 down, turn on that sub oscillator, you get that. I think it's 1 octave below, and I am pretty sure it's a square wave that we have. Sounds like a square wave. And I have to mention here in the mixer, when we have it up, the knob up to 50%, we have full volume. Any further than that, we're creating some overdrive on the mixer. So lots of possibilities to get overdrive. I'll touch on those a little bit later. But yeah, we have those two. Oscillator 1, sub oscillator 1. Then we have the oscillator 2. And then finally we have this feedback or external in. This acts as another source of overdrive, as I was mentioning. Or you have an internal, an external input here. So in here, for example, we run usually this system Cartesian right here. We run it into the Moog so we can filter it out a little bit. And yeah, any source that you pass it through, you can apply the filter to it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the mixer section right there. Now we get to the filter section. You know you have a classic Moog filter. Spray the resonance all the way down. Crank up the resonance a little bit. Can get pretty noisy right here. And we have a drive circuit in here too, so we can drive the filter a little bit. Big difference right there. Can get pretty crunchy right there with the overdrive. Then we have different slopes for the filter, 4 different slopes. So let's listen to those. It's a little harsher. This one's the more gentle one. I guess, I'm not sure, I guess this is 12 dBs per octave. This is yeah, I guess I don't know, but this is probably like 48 dBs per octave. This is 12, 24, 48, I don't know, but this is the gentle one, and this is the hardest one. So quite some possibilities right there. I have to mention that all of the stuff right here can be modulated. So that's a filter. Then you have obviously an envelope amount that you can send it to the envelope right here. And then you have obviously keyboard track, pretty self-explanatory what that is for every synthesizer. Alright, then we get to the envelope section right here. This is the amp envelope. You can see it has an A for amplitude, and pretty self-explanatory. Amplitude envelope, you know. And then we have a few different types of envelopes, you know. For example, this loop one acts kind of like an LFO. So take the latch off. Can get pretty crazy, as you can see. Same thing you have for the filter envelope. So let's close up the filter a little bit. And again, you can do all those crazy envelopes. Pretty cool. Again, as you can see, it's pretty simple. Not too much going for it. Then we have, finally we get to the modulation section. And in here we have two LFOs in which we can assign, you know, modulation for the pitch or the filter, and then we have this assignable section. So for example, we can I forgot to mention that we have a noise as well. Some nice noise. Nice for creating some percussions, adding some dirt to your sounds. And then in here, in this section, let's go first to the LFOs, to the pitch and the filter. Let's check it out. Let's bring the noise down, bring the oscillators up. So, pitch, we have the rate here. Different waveforms, fixed, triangle, square, sawtooth, reverse sawtooth, random. And then in here, this brings it to the filter envelope, so this envelope is going to control the pitch right now. As you can see. The same we can do with filter. So if we dial a little bit of filter amount to that LFO. A little bit of robots right here. And then let's get to this mod 2 section right here, where we can modulate, for example, the VCA level. So that's gonna be the level of it. So and why are we not? As for the waveform, now for the noise level. Now the LFO rates. LFO 1, it will control the rate of this LFO. We don't have it in right here, but if we were to do a little bit of that LFO. And that one is actually going into the mod wheel. So yeah, that's the modulation section. You can also dial the LFO to be in a high range, so either sync, keyboard reset, or high range. You know, in the high range, it will cycle. So for example, you'll get pretty fast to the point you get like some tones out of it. Yeah, pretty crazy. Sync, that's pretty self-explanatory. It syncs to your session, to whatever other MIDI device you have it connected either to another machine or to your DAW. It will sync the LFO to the time of the session. And then keyboard reset, that is pretty much gonna start the LFO again every time that you press a key. Whereas if I have it like here, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but take it off here. Yeah, you can see every time that we press a new key, it resets the LFO. Now, finally, I want to get into the arpeggiator sequencer section. So first of all, you have an arpeggiator. So if I turn this on right here, let's take a little bit of the LFO down. I can press latch also, leave it playing. So you can have it either going up or going down. In order. Or you can also have it going random, I think this is. Yep. Random. And we have the speed for it right here. Obviously this speed will also sync on the arpeggiator if you have this sync button on, and then we have it to synced up to our DAW session. It will sync the speed of the LFO to your session. Then we have this range right here, pretty self-explanatory. In an arpeggio, it will take everything up an octave. So if I turn it on, two octaves. Like so. So pretty explanatory. Then you can have it back and forth also, so down up, down up. Or you can have it invert. Pretty cool. Then we have the sequencer, where you have these last two positions of this knob. So if I press this latch and bank at the same time, I'll see these lights go up, and when I put some notes into it, it will record a sequence. So say one note, so I have entered 16 notes. And now if I go back from recording here to sequencer, now if I press this on, it will cycle through the sequence I created. You can also, I guess, do this back and forth. Let's see. Yeah, so it's going back and forth. It's gonna go up. Yeah, and then if we do the invert. So yeah, if you play with these controls, you might be able to get some interesting sequences out of this, you know? The other thing is that if I now press these, I'll get rid of those steps. So if I take it out here, and I'm pretty sure that if we do this, no, can't remember how to hold the note right there. And it's applying this also the range, as you can see. See, now it's just going in one range. So if I stop it, I press this latch off. That's gonna stop. So yeah, that basically covers how the synthesizer works. As I said, you know, we can take it very deep into the sound design aspect and program different sounds with all the tools that we get. But it is a pretty simple synth to use. It has the classic Moog sound, and it's very useful not only for bass lines, which is the classic thing that people use Moogs for, bass lines or leads, but actually here in the studio we've been using it a lot for percussions, sound effects, and other crazy stuff like that. So you can actually also design some pretty nasty kick drums and snares in this synth, I can tell you that. So yeah, a pretty cool piece here in our studio, and maybe this review / tutorial can let you know if this is the right synth for your setup. Thank you guys for watching this review on the Moog Sub 37. We hope you found it useful. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment down below. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel for future videos coming up about the gear in our studio. And finally, I want to say, if you're located in the Miami area and you need some help with music production, mixing, audio recording, DJing, whatever the needs may be regarding to audio, we are here to help. So I'm leaving the link down below so you can reach us out through our website, and let us help you with whatever you need. So this is Ricardo Lund, and I'll see you guys next time.